Good afternoon, friends. Second of two guitars from one client. Doesn't like it's been touched in years. It's dusty, it's dirty, and it needs work. And there you go. And it's a very light guitar. It's a PRS SE Soapbar, because of the Soapbar pickups. So P90 type pickups, Soapbar pickups. One of these, I hate these bridges. You know, they wrap around. They always seem to lean forward that way. Don't like that system at all, never have, never will. But anyway, it's not my guitar, so I ain't got to worry about it. So he sent this in and another one in, seeing what I can do for his budget. The other one, forget it, his budget wouldn't cover that one on its own because it needs a refret. But I may get away with fret level. But this one looks pretty straightforward. It looks like it's going to it definitely needs a setup, needs cleaning, needs a setup, may need some fret work. So yeah. It's pretty basic. It's a glued in neck, made at Wood Musical Instrument Company, which is in Korea. They're making guitars for everyone for years, all the imports. Short serial number on there, so it looks like a pretty early one. Decentish. Those tuners look a little bit close together for me, but it's how they are. What can I say? Some nice perloid type inlays in there, but like a crescent moon type of affair. Look pretty nice. Not bad at all. So this needs a clean, a setup, maybe need some fret work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in, test the electrics. Once I'm happy that the electrics are okay, we're going to get the strings off, and we're going to come back and we're going to check the frets. Nut on there, your standard PRS fare. I don't like the way PRS cut their nuts. They cut them with deep grooves. If you look here, we cut them with deep grooves, so all the strings are sat in. I like them, the fatter ones just to be half in, half out. That's how they do it. So not going to do anything, no need to change it. If it works, why fix it? So it looks pretty straightforward on this one, doesn't look too bad at all. Just check scale length, probably going to be a 25 on here. It's not a 25 and a half. It's not a 24 and 3/4, it'll be a 25-inch scale length. Could possibly be a 24. I've got all my bars, hang on, we're not even over there anymore. What have I done with them? They will be knocking about somewhere. Bear with me, I'll sort my tools out shortly. We'll come back, we'll check the frets over. Once I've checked the electrics, check frets over, and I'll come back and let you know what this guitar needs. So everything on the PRS seems pretty straightforward. The electrics all work fine. I've had it plugged in, I've played it, sounds fantastic. Those pickups are something else. Sounds absolutely wonderful. I was playing it just for a clean channel. Well, I've only got a clean channel on my Roland amp. I've got a Roland JC22, beautiful amp. Bit of chorus on there, bit of reverb, just a nice clean channel, sounds fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the frets over on camera. I'm going to snip these strings off, bin these. Get this horrible, I hate these bridges. Not my thing at all. I'm not a fan of wraparound. I don't see the point. I see that they have their uses in some scenarios, just not on the kind of guitars I play, so not for me. They're a ball ache to set up, they're a ball ache to string. So strings, just going to wrap these strings up, get them out of the way. Get them in the bin. Curl up all weird, so guitar strings I don't do this, are the cheap ones. I don't know what they are, no coloured ends there, some black, some silver. Could be D'Addario. D'Addario do sell single strings, with black or silver all ends. I know because I've got some. So you're getting to see how dirty this guitar is now. Look, just look at that, it's not nice. Not nice, is it? Get rid of all that crap. Fingerboard needs a clean, needs scraping. You can see all the dead, dirty skin that's accumulated over the years. We don't like having to clean that up, do we? Anyone? Let's be honest. So a guitar needs a clean as much as anything. It'll get one. So we'll check every nut and bolt on here, including strap pins. They'll all be checked and tightened. Check the electrics. They are very scratchy. We do need to clean up the electrics. We're going to get some switch cleaner in there. So any bits we've got, we're going to stick in there. I'm now going to remove. This is the one I'm going to remove. And we're going to set the neck straight. Just check these frets on this one. So yeah, that kind of I don't know what size that is. Let me just go and get. I'm trying to think where I've put. Here they are, really. There's my PRS one. 25 and 24. Let's try 25. 25 inch scale length. Okay, got quite a bit of relief in there, so we're going to just tighten that up a little. Now, which one of these is a PRS size? You can always tell by the size of the barrel. That's Gibson. Like this, I think it might be 7mm. The reason I think is this has got a short barrel. And there you go, we're absolutely right. That truss rod was loose. It shouldn't have been loose. Yeah, I noticed that one because it's got a shorter barrel up, whereas some of the ones have got a longer, much longer barrel there. Right, okay, so. Very good, Vic. Very, very good. We've got that. I wouldn't say dead straight, but I'll tell you what, that's pretty close. Another, that right one? There it is. That isn't, it's the wrong one. That's my Gibson one. That's near at 8mm. I would say just from there to there is going to bring that straight. There you go, dead straight neck now. So fret locker, we're just going to check these frets over. If the guy needs 2 fret levels, I will just get him in on budget. But one has got a tremolo setup as well. I'll not be charging for a tremolo setup. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to turn work away, am I? So here we go. We'll get a marker pen just in case we need one. Got the frets dead straight. I mean the neck dead straight. We've got 4 different edges on this fret rocker. It's precision flat, these surfaces. The reason we have 4 different lengths is so we can check 3 frets at a time. And we check 3 at a time because if we get a rock like there, means the middle one is high. I'll check 3 areas: outside, middle, inside. So outside's fine, middle, rocking, inside is fine. So we mark up the middle. And there you go, and we're going to check the frets. Yeah, that's rocking. This is going to need a fret level. I can tell you straight away it's going to need a fret level. 125 quid, including the setup. That's fine. Yeah. High all the way across. So we are going. Any more than 5 frets are high, I have to level the lot. I can't just do 5 because if I alter that one, it's going to affect these 2 and these 2. So once I get over 5 high ones, we're going to do the lot. Yep. I forgot which one it is. Is it number 8? Yep. So that's 4 high frets. There's your 5th. 6, albeit only a little bit of a high spot. I will knock these in with a hammer, a fretting hammer, before I go to leveling, just to see if we can knock any, see if any are just unseated or not seated correctly. Once I think that's 7 frets. The guy did think both needed a fret level. Yeah, just needs a fret level. I will write myself a little map, a little key to the map. Quite nice at this end. To knock the nuts out again, got to be very, very careful knocking that out. I have knocked nuts out before, it's took a big chunk of the headstock with it. We really do not want that happening. It's why I've gone out and I've bought myself 2 brand new craft knives with good blades on there, just so I could score through the glue, and that scored all the way through anyway. We should be able to remove that knot really, really easily. Just make sure we cut through the glue and any lacquer. That should do something different. Knock that knot off quite easily without causing any damage to anything else. And we can do it just by, should we just give it a gentle tap, or 3, and there you go. We've not damaged anything, the knot is off clean, and that is ready for a fret level. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high frets. Don't know if you can see the black marks on the frets there. Maybe if we turn it this way, but that does warrant a complete fret level. So this is going to have a complete fret level, £125 including setup. Just putting prices up on these. It's a lot of work. 125 quid for that one, so we'll let the owner know what both his guitars need. His budget actually, he's got a budget of 250, I'm going to need 260. I'm just going to give him a ring, talk to him on the phone and see what he says. How are we doing, guys? We are about to level the frets on this PRS Soapbar SE. Do apologise for the sound you're hearing in the background. I'm actually in a Zoom meeting at the moment to do with church, and I need to be doing it. So I just wanted to come and show this. I can't turn the Zoom meeting off and I don't want to mute it. I just want to show that we've got the neck dead straight. You can't see from me, just take my word for it. That is dead straight, that's fantastic. So, just going to take a levelling beam, in like this case my Crimson Guitars levelling beam. Perfectly level surfaces, ground flat to within an nth of a millimetre over such a big length. So they are precision level. I've got 240 grit on that side, 400 grit on that side. We're going to get the 240 grit, the coarser grit, and we're going to level the frets. And we're just going to follow the radius. So it means when we come to this edge, we're going to slightly overlap because we follow the full width of the radius. And I have the fingerboard all marked, so the frets all marked up with marker pen, and I'm looking at removing all of the pen, getting the frets level, and once that's done, we'll check the frets, check that they're level, and once we've ascertained that they are level along the whole length of the guitar, I will turn over to the 400 grit side, and we shall remove some of the scratches, and we'll smooth off the frets with level. So you've all seen me do this before. So there's no point in just keeping this on. I want to pay attention to my Zoom meeting, so I will come back and show you frets once I have got them level. I hope my Zoom meeting last night didn't spoil the video for you too much. But what I was doing last night was I scraped the fingerboard after I'd levelled the frets. I levelled the frets, I scraped the fingerboard's really dirty. There's still some parts I've missed, so I'm just going to go across the parts I've missed. What I did in scraping the fingerboard was I saturated it with mineral oil, just all the grime and rubbish and crap, softened and loosened a little, and I came like this and I just scraped it all off like I'm doing now. This guitar is really, really dirty, and all that grime and stuff on there is off your fingers, and it is not nice, and you need to clean your fingerboards, guys. You really do, because your guitar lasts a lot longer. It'll be a lot easier and a lot nicer to play, a lot more pleasant to the touch. And this is more or less all done. Now when I oil this up again, it'll look fantastic. You've got no nastiness on there. That's looking pretty good. A little bit I missed there. But with the frets all now levelled and the fingerboard scraped, we can move on to the other parts of the job, which are, we're going to re-crown these frets. We're first going to check that they're level along the whole length, and we should be. Shouldn't have any high spots anywhere. So that is the fingerboard. This is this last one to do. Scrapes. Just use a Stanley blade there. And that's all done. Give that a wipe. And that's the dirty job out of the way. Set that back in its case. So we're just going to give that a brush. So what we're going to do is we're going to check that the frets are all level, and we should be, because I've not altered anything. Got a fret rocker here. I'm just going to check that the frets are level, and I'm sure they are. But what we've done is we've flattened these frets on the top now. So where they were once rounded or crowned that way, a nice crown, we've now flattened the top, so we're going to rebuild that crown, which is what we're going to do next. But before I do that, I need to protect the fingerboard, so I'm going to get everything taped up, just leaving the frets exposed. Now it's not critical that we have the frets or the neck dead straight now, even though it still should be, because we know the frets have been levelled. We're just checking. I've already checked. I know these frets are level. I'm just showing you guys that we've got rid of all the high spots and the frets are level along the whole length of the neck. And we're now ready for reprofiling or recrowning. Like I say, we've got to protect the fingerboard first, because if I didn't tape up the fingerboard, then the chances are that if I slip with a file, and even the files I use, they're going to dig in to the wood. Those frets are bang on level. Like I say, they're flat across the top going that way, some more flat spots than others because some were higher than others. So what we're going to do is we are going to tape up the fingerboard. Now first we are going to tape up the edge of the other parts of the body that I want to protect. Excuse me. I'll protect these areas because I'm going to be working with files over this area of the body. So we're going to first tape up these areas. Like so. That means when I'm working over these areas, if I do slip with a file, I'm not going to dig into this. Just as a matter of course, I'll do this side, even though we're not going to have a file over this side. There is always a possibility that you're going to slip with the file. So we just protect the areas. So when I'm working over this area, I can't dig in to this part of the body, so that's all good. So what we're going to look at is taping up the whole of the fingerboard, leaving just the fret exposed. Now this is going to take me a while. What I tend to do is I use 3 different sizes of tape, 25mm, 19mm and 6mm, and we use the bit corresponding to how much space we have along the length of the neck. And what I like to do with these two is use the same amount all the time, so I always try and keep the rolls the same size. And at the moment, this one's got a little bit more left on this, so I'm going to tape up the edges first, and we're going to tape right up to the top of the neck, right up to the fret edges there, on there. And again this side, right up top of the neck to the fret edges. You can see how this is working. We don't have to do one continuous piece, I use a few pieces, and this is going to help us remove the tape later on. Again, about there. You see how this works. Do a roll. And that will just help us remove the tape when we taped across this way. Makes things a little bit easier. You'll see how it works when I finish the job. And this one again, just some of the 6mm at this end. So this is how we'll work it. What we're going to do is we're going to tape up the whole of the fingerboard. And I'll show you how this works. We use different tapes in different areas. So this end we're going to use the 25mm. You need to cut it. I'm doing some people that cut this to the right width and what have you. I don't do what I do. What I'm going to do is I will take like so, and I'll do right up to the edge of the fret, and we've got this little exposed area there. And instead of using 2 pieces, if we take a piece and rip it down the centre, the tape's going to go a lot further. Like so. We're going to do this for the whole fingerboard, for the whole length of the neck, changing the tape as we go along. And again, we can try and use the same amount of tape on the 2 bigger rolls, the 19 and the 25mm rolls. You see, all we're doing is we're just leaving the frets exposed, so we can make sure we don't mark the fingerboard up with a file. Coming down to this last part on this side, we don't really need to do that side, we're not going to be touching there, but and when we get to a piece where the tape's actually wider than the slot, I'm just going to rip it down the middle, like so. And you get the idea. And I'll probably do 9 or 10 frets with this tape, 9 or 10 frets with the 19mm, and we'll finish off with a 6mm at the tighter end. And that way, these 2 bigger rolls, we finish the rolls at around about the same time. I always have a spare in stock, but when I get down to my last pair, I go and order more. So I've always got my stuff in stock, but I use a lot of this tape, this masking tape, because I do a lot of fret work. Hence the name Fret Friend. So you see how this works. And the reason we put that strip down the side is pulling that up helps us to remove all this quicker, because we just roll this up on the edge. So what we've got there, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. Right, I think we'll start with this one now. what I like to do with this is start at the thin end. I'll leave 4 for the thin tape. Might be too thick for that one. Sometimes it rips straight down the middle, sometimes it goes a little bit skewy, as that one did. So we'll keep going until we've got the right size piece. Perfect. So yeah, you get the idea. I may as well leave a tape run in there. There's no point to me stopping it just on this last few bits. So you see, there's a lot of stuff you don't get to see all the time on my videos like this. I normally wouldn't film this, I'll just do it off camera. These jobs are a lot more time consuming than you'd actually think. Put a lot of time into these jobs. Consider I've already been out this morning doing my rounds as a postman. I'll come back, grab something to eat, have a little siesta, a little break, a cup of tea, and then I'll come in here and do a few hours in here. And it can get a bit too much sometimes, and you do need a break. You do have to rest and recuperate sometimes. Sometimes you just think, I can't be bothered today. And the joy of being self-employed or part self-employed is I can actually afford to do that. I can actually just think, nah, I can't be bothered today, and not bother, which is a good thing. I'm actually on a break at the moment. I'm not taking any guitars in for 2 weeks, and by the end of this week I should be caught up with everything I've had in the workshop, and I'm going to take a few days away, just away from work, not away from me place. We're not going anywhere, me and the wife. We've got an holiday booked. We're in Scotland in July. We're in June at the moment, so we're like another month. But with my wife doing a tutor training this year, she's on her last week and she's really tired. We're just going to have a nice relaxed week next week. Then back to my wife is off for 6 weeks. I'll be back at work. I'm still at work anyway. And in a few weeks' time, we're going to nip up to Scotland for 5. I think we've got 6 days booked in Scotland. Neither of us have been to Scotland before. My wife is of Scottish heritage. She's Canadian, my wife. Full-blooded Canadian. We met back in 2008. She came in 2009. We've been together ever since. But yeah, Scottish heritage of the Cameron clan. My wife was a Cameron before she took my name in marriage. And we're going to spend some time in Scotland. A couple of days at the Locks and 4 days in Glasgow city centre. Exploring and see the sights, going to all the museums and all this, that and the other. Eat some good food. Got a nice apartment booked in the centre of Glasgow. And we're going to enjoy ourselves. Because neither of us have been to Scotland before. We're really looking forward to it. But anyway, back to the guitar. And there you go. That's everything taped up, ready for me recrowding the frets. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to show you how we recrown the frets in a minute. I'm going to show you the first couple and then I'm going to crack on and get this done. But that's the fingerboard all taped up. The great thing about that is now if I slip with a file or slip off the fret, I'm not going to score across the fingerboard and put a big score mark in there, am I? You know, I ain't going to do it. So give me a few minutes and we'll crack on, look at these frets. Okay. re-crowning the frets. Got the neck nice and stable. We're going to take a marker pen. We're going to mark the tops of the frets. I don't think you can see at this angle that how flat the fret tops are now, I've leveled the frets, but what we need to do is we need to take the flat spots going in that direction and we need to re-crown these frets and leave ourselves a thin black line down the centre, and that's going to be the contact point of the string to the fret. You need a thin line. The thicker it is, the more chance you've got of frets buzzing. So what we're going to do is, in the olden days we'd have taken a 3-cornered file, and as we come to the fret, as we file it, we'd roll it over and we'd start to rebuild those corners. But we don't have to do that nowadays because we have a Z file from Stumac, and it's a diamond file. Means it's plain surface encrusted with diamonds. Closest to you is a long, shallow cut. Closest to me is a deep, sharp cut. I turn it 180 degrees. It's the complete opposite. The good thing about this file is it will cut both sides at the same time, one shallow, one deep, flip it over 180, do the complete opposite, but it will not touch the top of the fret. Meaning the black line, we keep the black line there showing us, because we know the frets are level, we're going to know that these frets are still level. Let me just move this back because you're not seeing everything there. So the black line is the level or the height of the fret. I'm going to mark off 3. And this file's going to do the work for us, whereas in the old days you'd do it all yourself by rolling a file over. You don't have to do that now. We're going to take file and just follow a radius. Let the file do the work. It works both ways, backwards and forwards, not like a regular file, it's a diamond file. And once we've done one side, we flip 180 or 180 degrees. Repeat the procedure. And we now have a thin black line down the centre of the fret. It's about 0.5 millimeters, and that fret is now gone from being level, flat to re-crowned. What we're going to do is going to wipe the file. We'll wipe it on every fret, ready for the next one, and then we're going to finish off with, this is a concave file, again a diamond file. This has already got the crown built in, and all we're going to do with this is just go over any inconsistencies we might have. We're going to round it over, round the edges, over the top, round the edges, and that now is a perfectly crowned fret with the black line intact. It means we've lost no height, which means not losing any height. We're not going to get a rock. The frets are still level, the height's maintained, but we've rebuilt that crown. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the next one, just to show you again. Always wipe the file after a fret, and again, same again. Nice thin black line down the centre. And there you go, that's 2 frets done. Gone from having a flat top to a crown top. These 2 are ready for polishing. I've got 20 odd more frets to do, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to do the rest of them off camera. It's going to take me a while. So I will come back and show you the results in a while. Quick update, fret friends. I've polished all of the frets. I've been through with 7 grits of sandpaper. The first one being 400 grit. Now this is a lot thicker than your regular stuff. And the reason I use a 400 grit is the deep scratches we've got going that way. This removes them completely. I leave the pen on there, and once I've got the pen removed with this paper, it means I've also got rid of the deep scratches going that way. Then I come and polish off with 6 other grits of paper, going from 600 grit through to 2000 grit. So the grits are 400 to start, then you've got 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000, and we polish this way. So we've got 7 different polishers on 7 grits of paper, and we do the final polishing using finest grade steel wool, which I've got some here. This is extra fine steel wool. Now what I've done is I've discarded my glove. I always adapt to glove. I cut off the fingertips and just leave 2 full fingers in there, the 2 fingers I polish with, which I've done. I'm going to stick this on inside out just to show how I polish with the steel wool, because I've not done that yet. And the steel wool brings everything up to a super shine. So we polish to remove the scratches, but also to bring them to a shine. And that's how I adapt a latex glove. I keep these 2 fingers in and cut the fingers off here so I don't sweat so much. And that way, because I only polish with these 2 fingers, you see, or I normally just go this way, like so, and finish off again just using these 2 fingers. It means my other fingertips are free. And I do the same again, or more or less the same, with steel wool. I mean, obviously I've used a thumb this time, but steel wool, just take it straight over the fret, and this brings, even though now we're scratch free, they're not super shiny yet, but this brings them up to a super shine. And what I do is I take the white steel wool and I pinch over the fret, and it's getting it at the sides and the tops, and this really brings them up superbly. These are stunning, absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to crack on, finish off polishing these frets, and once I've done, I'm going to remove the tape. I'm going to oil the fingerboard. Now if you remember, I've already scratched all the crap and the crud off the fingerboard, but I'm going to oil again, let that soak in. Once it's soaked in 10-15 minutes, I'll wipe it off, and we'll glue the nut back on, and we can stick some strings on and get this guitar set up, and it will be ready to go. This is going to be absolutely stunning when I've done, so I'll come back soon. Moving right on, I've strung the guitar, I've done the setup just about. I've stretched the strings in, I've set the right amount of relief in the neck, nothing to do on the bridge because the bridge is set. I will need to check the intonation is just about where it needs to be. So I'm going to plug the guitar in. I've also fixed the import jack, which was loose. I dismantled that, put it back together, tied it up. And one thing left to do is to cut the nut slots. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the tuning. I'm going to check the intonation. So it's hit and miss. It's a tiny bit out on some of it because it is a compensated bridge because it's a wraparound, so there's not a lot we can do about that. If most of the strings are in, we're going to leave them as they are. They're both in. That's in. D's a little bit sharp. The A is in. And the E is a tiny bit sharp. So we're more or less bang on. You can't alter anything individually on the saddle because it is a compensated bridge, so that's absolutely fine. So what we need to do now is just make sure that the strings are low enough over that first fret. Now I've set my normal amount of relief in the neck is 0.25 millimeters under the 7th fret, which we have. On the treble side, the gap from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, on this side, on the treble side, 1.5 mil, on the bass side, 1.75 mil. That's what we've done. So we've got the right amount of relief. We've got the right string height at the 12th fret. We have the intonation done, we have the guitar in tune, so only one thing left to do, and that's to set the height of the strings above the 1st fret. And what we need to do is basically get them as low as we can without the strings buzzing in on an open string. So I normally go on the bass side in millimeters. Again, we do metric in England. I'd go 0.3 millimeters this side, round about 0.2 on that side. So I've got 0.25 on there. I'm just going to take a 0.3 and have a quick look. I think we're going to be a little bit high on this side, but we may be okay. We can certainly go lower on them three, and 0.25 or 0.2 on the far side. And what I'll do is I'll slowly gradiate down, so 0.3, 0.28, 0.26, 0.24, 0.22, 0.2. These are all millimeters. Just graded down. The reason we go lower on the thinner strings is they don't vibrate as much as the fat strings. So we're quite high on all of the strings. So what I'm going to get my Hosco nut slot files, made in Japan, made of steel. And I have one per string, so I need a 1046 set. So let's see where we are. 16 I'll use for a 17, which is the G. 13 I'll use for a 13, which is B. Don't need these. 10 I'll use for a 10, which is the top E string. 46 I'll use for the 46, which is the lower E. 36 I'll use for the A string, which is a 36. And this one will be a 26. Now I don't have a 26, but I do have, as close as I can get, but a little bit wider. I do believe I have a, do I have a 28? I have a 28 for the D string, which is a 26. So it doesn't matter if we go a tiny bit wider. So that is the string set I'm going to be using. 10, 13, 16 for a 17. With the 16 being not as wide as the 17, I'll slightly flare it left and right just to make that hole or that slot a little bit wider. 28 I'll use for the 26, 36 I'll use for the 36, and the 46 I'll use for the 46, or the 0.046 inches. That's what it corresponds to. So let me just show you that. Now the great thing about these files, being what they are, Japanese made of steel, these will cut a perfect U shape. They won't cut a V like some of the cheaper ones do. They cut a perfect U. So what we're going to do is we are going to check the height on the base string. Again, looking for 0.3 millimeters on this base side. There we go, 0.3 feeler gauge there, and we're just going to play the string open. Just trying to buzz. So all we're going to do is we're just going to slide in, get it horizontal. Do not cut into the frets because you've just polished them. And all we're going to do is we're just going to flare in, just give it a couple of strokes. We're going to angle down towards the tuner, and that should be enough. We're not taking any great height from there, we're just making sure we've got a round bottom there. Again, we're going to check the string for tuning. That's nice. Feeler gauge, and we're listening for a little buzz. That one's done. So the next one we're going to go a little bit lower, 0.28. Just a little bit higher there. So what we're going to do is with the file we've just used, we're going to take a cloth, we're going to clean. We always clean the files before we put them back. Put that back in its sleeve, go on to the next one. I always try not to lift tools over a guitar as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that file, we're just going to put it over there on the right hand side. We're now going to take the 36, which is this one. We don't need to remove a lot of material, so we're going to move the string, place it over into that slot, take the file, 0.036, horizontal, and just give it a couple of strokes. Then we're going to slightly angle it toward the headstock, just rolling back. Nice smooth movement there. Blow away any detritus there. String back in. Check with the feeler gauge, and we should be getting a little bit more of a buzz on this one. Could go a tiny bit more, so I'm going to go in again, a couple of strokes. Do not remove too much material, because if you cut them too deep, you will be replacing the knot, and that takes time and it costs money. It takes quite a lot of time as well. So there you go, check again. Keep checking, little bits at a time. It's a marathon, not a sprint, this. That's beautiful. The next one we're going to be looking around about 0.26 millimeters. So I'm going to take a 0.25. And we're going to bring this one quite a bit down. So quite a way to go on that one. So we're going to change file again. Give this one a clean. Put it in its sleeve. Over there, out of the way. 0.028. Again, nice and smooth, just a couple of strokes. Angle it toward the tuner. So we're going horizontal for a couple of strokes, then angle toward the tuner. Blow away any detritus there, and bring back to pitch. 0.25 mil. listening for a little buzz. Beautiful, that's that one done. So I'm going to do the next 3 off camera, doing exactly the same. 0.25 with that one, 0.225 with that one, and probably 0.2 with that one. So I'm going to get that done off camera. Once that is done, we'll have it all set. We'll stretch the strings in again, and this guitar will be finished. And there we are, fret friends. We are all done. And this is a PRS SE soap bar, because of the pickups, obviously. Wraparound bridge, set neck, made in Korea. Built by World Musical Instrument Company. Been making guitars for many companies for many years. One of the good Korean factories, or one of the long-standing Korean factories. 3-way, volume, tone. This came in, it was in a pretty sorry state. It was quite disgusting. Cosmetically. It needed, I've actually scraped the fingerboard, scraped all the dead skin and the horrible sweatiness off there, which is not a very nice job, but you know, it had to be done. So the complete fret level, fret profile, frets all polished, complete setup, and now it looks like a good guitar. We've stuck a set of D'Addario strings on there, 1046 set, which should be an EXL 110 set. So it's all in tune. I've also cut the nut slots, checked everything, given it a proper setup, tightened the strap pins and everything, checked all the nuts and bolts and everything on there, and it's a beautiful looking thing. It's all in tune. And it's ready to go back to its owner. So without further ado, I'm going to tie this video up. Just before I do go, I'm going to remind you of my website, fretfriend.co.uk. Even better, with more information, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. Another thing as well, this YouTube channel, it has, I don't know what's happened, but it's sort of died. It's not died, it's really gone downhill. I'm getting less subscriptions, I'm getting less views, I'm getting less thumbs up, less comments, and it's not doing very well. It's plummeted by at least 50%. And I don't know why. I think it's something to do with the way where I was sending my videos to. I was doing them on a how-to page for a short while, and it didn't work, and I put them back on the music. So I would like you guys, please do subscribe, do give me a thumbs up, do leave a comment if you like what I'm doing. It helps the web page, it helps my work, it puts word about me. So if you're watching this, please do that. Go and watch a couple of videos, give a couple of thumbs up here and there, and please do subscribe by clicking the bell icon and whatever, making sure you are subscribed to my future videos. I would really appreciate that. But that is it for now. I am Victor, I am your fret friend, and until the next time, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.